based on the stuff that we've been talking about the last couple weeks, like how would you translate that into us talking about goals?
Try and just set reasonable things that you can do
Okay.
at the right time period.
Okay.
Start with that.
So we've been talking, do we sit down and end our time at the piano based on time or based on a goal?
Based on
Right, okay. And we've talked about having two different types of goals in your lessons. And I've set the weekly goals, which is the one type where I'm saying this is where I want you to be by the next time you have a lesson. But then what have I asked you to set?
goals of what to do in that week.
Yes, what to do in the week, the daily goals, right? And we've talked about how to break stuff out into smaller little goals. So that's what they're talking about here. So we have an overall plan. So in this particular case, they're saying if she's got 8 months or 7 months to practice a piece, she needs an overall plan for here's where I am month 1, here's where I want to be month 7. But then she's got to also have monthly goals, maybe weekly goals, and just break it into smaller and smaller segments. Does that make sense? Okay. It talks through here about things that you can focus on at the beginning, really good goals to have in the middle, and things to focus on at the end. And I think that's important because I think sometimes our goal is just to get it learned. We've talked about that we don't want your piece to just be notes. You know, that I'm not going to be impressed if you come in and you can play the notes perfect. And so I think that's where it's saying, you know, you can set appropriate expectations for yourself in the beginning, which is maybe learn the notes, set your dynamics, figure out your plan. Your middle, which is maybe tweak the sections that I'm struggling with, start memory. Some other things that we've talked about would be maybe just fixing things that are already fixed but making you more comfortable even though you can already play them. And then lastly, polishing everything and getting it performance ready. Lesson, how we're going to apply that, just like we've done every week with our goals conversation. So we're going to start with theory. All right, now we were talking about D minor scale in here. Did you have any questions?
Not unless I got all of them wrong.
Would you be offended if I told you you did? I'm just kidding. Yes, it's all wrong. One thing, and this is just me being picky, I think we maybe have mentioned this before, when we write our minor keys, we try to use the lowercase level letters because it distinguishes that it's a minor versus a major.
Okay.
The other thing is, why when we're writing notes into our scale, is it important to write the flat before the note instead of after?
So that you know that it's coming.
Right. Because if I see the B and then I see that it's flat, I'm going to play it as a B, right? Okay. So in this particular case, now when we're actually writing it, does the flat come before or after if we're actually writing the letter in the flat?
After.
After. Why?
Because you're reading it.
Because we're reading it. And how do you say it?
B flat.
B flat, right? Okay. So we have to put it, when we're actually writing it, in notation form, we need to put it before the note so our eye sees it. When we're writing it just like the letter and then the accidental, then we can just write it how we would say it. An easier example. So we're in A minor. What major key is that relative to? C, right? So A minor is borrowing C major's key signature. So now we're going to make it harmonic. So we're still A minor, okay? But we're tweaking the scale just slightly.
Don't you have like the sixth?
Close. Not the sixth, but what? Yes, the seventh. In a harmonic minor, we raise the seventh. You might have been thinking melodic, which is the other type of minor. We raise the sixth and seventh going up, but we lower them coming down. So they want to make sure that you understand the difference because I'm going to be honest, the one that we use the most often is harmonic. Okay. And here's why. So if you are in A minor, go ahead and give me an A minor chord. Is that minor or major?
Major.
Okay, so we're borrowing C major's key signature. Does it have any sharps or flats?
C major?
Yes. No. Okay, so then A minor would not have any sharps or flats, right? There's your A minor chord, okay? That that is built on the first note of the scale, so we would call it a 1 chord, right? All right, now I want you to move over to the 5 spot in the scale and play me a 5 chord, still in the key of A minor. So what is going to be your 5th tone in that scale? If A is in 1. Exactly. Okay, so play me that chord. Not quite. We're not quite in our half whole pattern here. So you're going to have your E, okay? And then you've got 3 half steps. Not quite that far. There you go. And then you've got your B at the top. Okay, so play that chord. So the thing that's strange about that is that's right. That's correct. That is an E minor chord, a minor 5 in the key of A natural minor. I just wanted to give you the example, but even songs that are meant to be in a minor key typically want to have a major 5. And the only way to do that is to raise the 7th. Does that make sense? Okay, so they want to make sure you understand that. So in essence, you're doing some of the same activity here that you're doing here. So write in your notes. You'll actually write in your raised 7th before the note. Okay, and then you'll fill in your notes down here. Questions? All right, should we start with the concerto?
Sure.
How'd it go?
Better.
Okay, why did it go better? What changed?
I practice it more.
Well, you've been practicing, but how did you practice?
I didn't make it up. I just sat down and I played it through instead of just playing like the first part over and over because I knew that part better, which is what I usually do.
Okay, so you actually went in and solved it this time?
Yeah.
And do you feel like it made a difference?
Yeah. A little bit.
Where's the biggest difference? What am I going to hear when I'm listening to this?
It's gonna sound not so horrible.
Okay, well give me something else to listen to other than not horrible, because I don't usually listen to your pieces and rate you on horrible to not horrible, so.
The first page sounds more like a song
Okay,
than it did.
you sound comfortable in where you're at? Almost?
Almost comfortable.
Okay, take it at a tempo that lets you feel as comfortable as possible. And let's mainly hear the first page right now.
Okay.
Okay, what am I going to tell you at the very last chord?
It's supposed to be in here.
Well, yes, you're right. It is supposed to be on there. But how do we come off of it?
Together. I don't remember.
Okay. Yes. What am I seeing your hands do right now? There we go. They're kind of like, oh. All right. Come up, off, together. There we go. Okay. That's not just for a recital. That's all the time. All right. You've definitely done a lot. The first page has a lot more foundation laid than the second page, but that's because the second page is new. The big thing I'm going to say is get a metronome. You probably can get the app.
Yeah, I have the app.
Okay.
I don't usually use it because it messes me up, but I guess it would help in this
Yeah.
situation.
We don't like to use metronomes because sometimes it feels like they don't let us have our own groove.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get into the metronome's groove. But with this piece being in 3/4, sometimes it was in 3/4, sometimes I heard 4/4, sometimes I just heard, I don't even know. But the notes were there, which was good, and you sound a lot more confident. It's just that rhythm, to not have it tight from the beginning, is a bad habit that I don't want to keep going through that piece. If you learn a pause, it's going to be hard because that pause is going to be just as learned as all the rest of your notes. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Your theory first.
Oh, the theory.
So page 21. That all looks, well, this one is a G to a C.
Let's see. Let's see.
I think what we're doing is we need to count the line that the note starts on.
Oh.
So what does that change this one to?
A fifth up.
A fifth, right. You got the letters right, but that's going to be a fifth. What's this one going to be?
That's going to be oh, it's supposed to be down.
Yes, it is down.
Oh, third down.
One.
Oh, two.
Yes.
Second down.
Second down. And then what about this one?
One. Oh, second up. Oh, wait a minute. Four.
Yes, fourth up. Okay, so.
Then the 3, 4.
Mhm.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Ah, and you got the bar line with the tie too. Very good.
Oh, and then this.
Okay, now explain to me this note right here. Because we're supposed to have 4 in a measure, but you're saying, did you take the rest out?
Oh.
Did you want to take the rest out? Is that why you put it in there?
I have no idea why.
Okay, do you want the note or the rest there?
The note.
Okay, so let's take the rest out then. All right. And then we're missing one here. Because how many beats is this?
It's 3.
3. Right, okay. So we need to add one more note in there.
It goes here. That one is. Isn't it that one?
Okay, and then what about the last one? Because right now, how
Right
many
here.
beats do we have right there right now?
Let's see. 2.
2. So how many more do we need?
We need to do this one. It's gonna be half note.
Half note. Good. Okay, good. You're playing around on the piano during the week. If you come up with something that you like, you can write out your treble clef and you can actually write your notes in and you can write a song using this paper. Okay?
Like your own one?
Yeah. Yeah, since you have a good ear. So.
Like since I made the Ode to Joy, I don't think anyone played it. Not that I know of, but if anyone did, I have no idea.
Well, there might be some other ones that nobody's ever, like a different song title, and you might find that you can write the notes in and you can do exactly what you've been doing. Put your bar lines in and your time signature.
Dude, this one's probably going slowly, probably, and that one's going
Walking.
speed.
Mm-hmm. Well, I might quiz you next week on the different definitions, so you may have to be ready. Okay. So February 4th. So we're gonna do theory, page 22. All right. So now let's look at veracity.
Okay, should I play the first time from the child?
Sure.
It's more of this. I think it's more of this line. This line, I don't know, but it's probably more of this line.
Have you figured out what in that line is giving you trouble?
I have no idea. Maybe it's because like I got used to playing this part a different way. Maybe.
Okay. Well, why don't we start at 17 since that's what we said we work on this week, and let's look at it.
I think that's okay.
Yeah, it was close. There's
Maybe it's because I was like reading it like better.
Okay, yeah, you were paying attention. You weren't guessing, were you?
No.
Good job. Okay, the only thing is this rhythm right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and.
Oh.
Can you play this back to me, just the right hand?
Right here.
Mm-hmm. You can just play the right hand if you want to. So start right here on the B. Yeah, so it's gonna be a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's gonna go 4 and 1. We always want to try to do the first beat of the next
And then
measure.
you go down.
Yes. So let's try. We're gonna stop on the 1 of this measure. So start right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh. Try again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what note is this? Let's make sure we know it.
That's D.
It's a D. Good. Let's start back at B. 2, 3, 4, and 1. Good. Let's try just 4 and 1. 4 and 1. Good. Do it again. Good. Do it again. Good. Okay, so it's got a lot better though, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe let's try to fix this for next week. I'd like to hear the whole song finished for next week.
Can I borrow your pencil?
You can borrow my pencil. That one might not be a very good one. If not, you can borrow this one.
It's a little dull, but let me. I'm gonna probably want to circle right here.
Okay. Do you know what to do on this one?
Yes.
Good. This part sounded really good, didn't it? You did a great job. Okay.
I think that one's done.
Oh,
Should
good.
be. It's gotta be done.
Yeah, it's gotta be done. That was the rule this week, right? Good job. That was much better.
You said me to skip that one because it said.
I did see you just get. Now hold on, before you went, I just want to tell you, I see that we circled this and you worked on that part and you fixed it. That is what I want. That, how you played that right now, that's how I want your pieces coming in for lessons. Very nice job. Now, who is this by?
This one,
Who's the composer for this?
I can't remember. Does it say?
Yes, it does. What's
Franz Joseph Haydn.
Haydn?
Oh, Haydn.
Yes.
I'm thinking of Haydn because there's 2 Haydns in my class.
Now, we talked about the different time periods of music at the group lesson. Do you remember which time period Haydn goes into?
C for 4.
What were the different periods? What's the first one?
Let's see.
That's a hard word to remember, right?
I think it was. I can't remember. I think I can remember the second one, but I just can't remember the first.
The first one I kept making jokes, I would say. If it's not, don't fix it. Remember that was my joke? If it's
Let's see.
not,
Can't remember.
Baroque.
Oh, Baroque.
That's what we were laughing at. If it's not Baroque.
Oh.
So the first one is Baroque, right?
Yeah.
What's the second one?
Let's see. I have no idea. Or I have no idea. It's probably.
Classical.
Oh, yeah.
Classical. And then what's the third one?
Well, it's romance.
It's romantic. You knew that one right away. And what was the name of the performer?
Franz Liszt, I think.
Yes, very good. Franz Liszt. And what's the last period?
Let's see. Modern?
Modern.
Oh, modern.
Very good. You have, see, we got half of it, right? Okay, so which time period does Haydn fit into?
I think it is the classical.
Very good. It is the classical. And there's some things that tell us about that. It's a very clean, crisp sound in here. It's a symphony, which came about it became more popular during the classical era. And Haydn was a classical composer. The recital book 6 and 7.
I really like that song for some reason.
Spanish dance. Okay, good. Just a couple of things. What does this say?
It says get louder.
Get louder. So that part, I'm going to have you do one more time right here. And then the only thing is make sure we don't forget that that's a what note?
Half note.
Half note. Okay, can we just do this line and can we get louder? So you got to get louder. You might want to start just more of a medium.
Like this.
Maybe not quite that loud because it starts at mezzo piano. So get quieter. Yeah, good. Let's start at that and then let's get louder. Did you work on this one for this week? Good.
That was the one that I like the best.
Okay, now I want to hear the difference between a staccato and your legato notes, okay? And I also am listening for what?
Let's see. Pauses or these.
Okay, well, I would like your tempo to be right, but what else am I listening for?
Dynamics.
Dynamics, very good. All right. Let's look at some things that we could do a little bit differently. I did hear your dynamics when I asked for them here, but I would say bring those out just a little bit
Okay.
more. And these staccatos, I think they can be really crisp and clean, so it sounds a little bit like. Hear how they're yes.
Not like
but
loud,
my hands-
not like loud, like.
Exactly. Yeah, they're just more crisp and clean, okay? Now the other thing I want you to watch is sometimes when you get comfortable, your hands come really far back here on the piano, and that just makes our wrist drop. So we want to try to keep our
Then
hands.
if you want to play one note like this, you just have to play like 3.
Okay, yeah, or it just puts more strain on your wrist and it's not very good technique. So we want to try to keep our hand a little bit more forward.
Like this, like, remember when I brought that chameleon in? Like,
Mm-hmm.
he said, well, I did bring that chameleon, he said this.
Let's try just this first line, and I want to watch both your hands and make sure we're not pulling back off the piano, okay? Okay, freeze. Look at how far off the edge that guy is. He is like ready to jump ship, isn't he?
He's like,
Yeah. So we want to keep our fingers all the way forward. My thumb is usually that far away from the edge of the key. All right, so in this one, what I'm looking for is crisp, clean sound and a steady driving rhythm. A driving rhythm means it's pushing forward. Bum, 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 bum. Not dun, 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 dun.
like a smooth, not like,
Right.
not like positive.
It just keeps going. Bum, 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 bum.
Let's say-
It doesn't ever stop. Okay?
Like if you're like this. And then
Yeah.
you, like, mess up.
We don't want something inconsistent, right?
You have to like place where they.
Exactly. That was good. Okay, so I gave you, we're doing 10 and 11 in here. You've got some sharps in here, so watch out. A sharp means to do what?
Like go like over here.
Yes.
And a flat is like the other way.
Exactly. Now I did have a new piece for you that I'm going to let you look at this week. It's not super hard, but I just thought it would be a fun new one for you. It's called Echoes of Egypt. Okay, so we've got a lot of ties in here where you're just holding it, so watch for those. Look at how
What
long
is
this
that?
tie is right here.
What is that?
That's a natural sign. It means that you were playing a G sharp, but this G is just a regular G.
Oh.
G natural, no sharp, no flat.
Just G.
Just plain old G.
G.
All right? And then we've got other different sharps throughout the piece, but I'd like you to go ahead and start this one. Do you have any questions?
Mhm.
Do you think you know what to do for this week?
I think so.